winner. Game plan sick, talking under the weather. You know what we doing? I need that all expense paid inclusive. I'm the plug, so I'm plugged into it. About money like with Jewish white Christmas. I'm Scrooge, bitch. My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Kerry. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything mooey, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Basket Robin shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Everything on me. Yeah, tell him Bogart scot-free. Lottie-dottie. He like to potty. Fuck with blow shoot, trolling vibe Molly. Heard I carry weight, move packs like a dolly. And I stay fuming, clock me doing Godspeed. Business booming, back-to-back trips, moving multiple units. Got mules, got universal soldiers, getting money for sure. Yeah, we ain't shrugging shoulders. You think I'm lucky getting over, made it far, cause I'm sharp, fuck a 4-leaf clover. On my 89, minus the flat top. Getting packs off, smoking on the cash crop. Money talk, if you're broke, then you can't talk. Play a never-ending ball game, Sandlot.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Getting money when I land there. Smoking all loud so I can't hear. And if your boys bring the noise, all y'all pussies getting scraped pap smear. Codeine got me leaning, Pizza. Put your boy on point, pyramid of Giza. I'ma rock like this till I'm an old geezer. No pizza parlor, but we deliver pizzas. Ask Uncle Sam, I'm taxing. Look, ma, no hands, telepathic. I can make things move, I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of the Los Angeles Chargers Power Hour. I'm going to call this one the Chargers finally have an identity. So, JD, you want to hit that drop for the beat? Shout out to the site, the channel and the show is sponsored, neonpeacockmerch.com. Head on over there, check out your custom gear from custom hoodies, t-shirts, cups, framed artwork, you name it. Peacock's got it all over there. Also going on right now is a Memorial Day sale. Head on over there. It's $13.99 tees and 40% off site-wide. Hey, shout out Derek. What's up, buddy? Shout out to you, Derek. Shout out to everyone in the chat, and shout out to JD, the fella backstage. So head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. Take full advantage of the sale. I believe the sale is it's going on to the 26th of the month, I believe. So head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. Hey, y'all. We had a good night last night. For all our teams, it was schedule release night. The Chargers didn't disappoint. I tell you that schedule release was dope as hell. It was good. And also, while you're on the neonpeacockmerch.com, head on over, get your Lightning Lad shirt, get your LA Jam shirts. I know Peacock, if you needed something custom done, there's not a thing that he can't do. He's a magician and an artist, both at the same time, and puts it together very fast. And we could have up on the site for you, no matter what. So just reach out to myself if you need to get hold of Peacock. I can get your information, and he can whip up something for you that you want it done and have it on the site to buy. So, as I said, head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. And thank you for tuning in for Season 2, Episode 5 of the Chargers Power Hour. So on that note, JD, you want to pull up that picture? All right, I'm going to call this one Herbert's Revenge Door. And while the Chargers are finally built for January, it's taken time, but I feel this is our time. So, as I said, for years, us Chargers fans have heard exactly the same thing. Talented roster, great team, talented roster. Franchise quarterback, dangerous team. I always say we're a dangerous team, but it's always been our health. But every single year in January, something was missing. But for now, I'm going to say, hopefully not anymore. This 2026 Los Angeles Chargers team feels different to me. It's not just because of the talent we have assembled, the roster. It's finally built the way a championship rosters have been built for other teams and championship teams. Teams are supposed to be how they're built. And we know hardball teams are built tough, physical, explosive, and deep and smart. Pause. And most important, built for playoff football. We've been there the past 2 years. Let's get back there. I mean, I want to be back there. I'm sick of losing in the first round, or if it's Peacock's team, or it's whatever, the Jaguars. Yeah, thanks. Hey, what's up, Brendan? Yeah, preseason and regular season. Yeah, it's all good, man. But hey, yeah, Brendan, I haven't looked at the Texans roster. Actually, Peacock sent it to me last night. I'm gonna go through it today, and man, it looks like you guys got a nice little schedule there. But hey, we shall see. That's with the schedule. I won't lie. I was going to dig in, pause to this schedule today, and I'm like, just came out last night. I'm gonna wait, dissect the schedule, put a show together, then I can dig through it, because I didn't want to rush through it. I feel everyone's going to have their own opinions, and I want to have a good opinion on my feel. I know what I feel we're going to do, but I'll give that on the next show. But I'll get back to this. I see, when you look across the NFL and the teams that consistently make deep postseason runs, I'm talking about the 49ers, I'm talking about all teams, Patriots, or let's say 49ers, Cowboys, shout out to Derek, all these teams, and Texans, etc. Their elite quarterback play, a creative offensive system, physically in the trenches. We know Harbaugh likes to build from the trenches out. So, defenses, depth-wise, we finally getting that now. Speed that stresses defenses and the ability to adapt in-game. The ability to adapt in-game is going to be great for the Chargers going forward, I feel. So the Chargers finally check, I wouldn't say every single one of these boxes, but we're checking off a lot of the boxes that we could not check off last year. And that starts with Justin Herbert. And let me say, this is the first overall situation Justin Herbert has had in his NFL career. He's no longer carrying an offense by himself every single week. He has a lot of playmakers now. He has Hampton. He has Trey Harris, KLS. He has Ladd. He has QJ. He also now has David Njoku. He has Gatson. You can't now say that, hey,
my bad, big bro. I had to. I was late. I had to.
It's all good, JD. Don't worry about it. It came to my head and I felt, hey, but you know what? We can't use the excuses that we don't have the playmakers. We have the playmakers. Let's go. I mean, it's, as I said, it starts with Justin Herbert, and he has the weapons now. The structure, the balance, the weapons, the protection, the coaching, and the identity. I know we have a new OC and Mike McDaniels, and this identity is going to have its own creative mind that flows, and I'm looking forward to seeing this shit. Yeah, I know. But as I said, it all starts with Justin effing Herbert. And that's where it's going to start, and that's where it's going to end. I'm going to say that. This is as I said, it's the best team. And this is what wins in January. And this is how teams that want to win in January are built. So what can Mike McDaniel do for this offense? I'm going to tell you right now. One of the biggest reasons this offense could explode in 2026 is the influence and the creativity and that mind of his creativity of Mike McDaniel's style concept can bring to this Chargers offense in 2026. I'm excited. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like a kid in a candy store seeing what Mike McDaniels is gonna do, what schemes is gonna bring. I'm looking forward to all these things that I haven't seen from the Los Angeles Chargers team. And we haven't had a creative mind like Mike McDaniel's. So that's how I'm looking at this one. But as I said, what makes Mike McDaniel's system so dangerous isn't just the speed, it's the deception. We're going to have motions. We're going to have misdirection, angles, spacing, timing, yards after the catch opportunities. I know I've mentioned these on the show. We haven't had the explosive plays. I'm looking forward to seeing that this year because we have the offense to go with the explosive plays, forcing defenses to hesitate for a half or a second. But what also, as I've mentioned on the shows, that the second half changes, those in-game things that we have to make, those switches can be made. We have a creative mind that can, hey, he was a head coach, but he's our OC now. But we're going to have like two head coaches on the field at the exactly same time. So to me, this is a blessing in disguise. Not other teams can have this, but yes, we're going to have Mike McDaniel's mind working for us. So that's a good thing. And having these changes in game is everything in the NFL. You can make these fast changes that have to be made in game, and we're going to have these made. So I feel. But imagine Justin Herbert operating an offense that consistently creates easy flows while also threatening explosive plays over the top. I mean, we know Justin Herbert, what he can do, what his abilities are. But now we're going to finally see what Justin Herbert is all about. And when you put this offense together, it can be a scary, crazy offense. And that's just my take. I think it's going to be a crazy, scary offense this year. Herbert already has that elite arm talent. But now, instead of asking him to make impossible throws every single drive, every single play, this offense can finally create rhythm and efficiency and favorable matchups. Excuse my dog. Sorry about that. And when you combine all that with Herbert's ability to attack every inch of the field, that's when the defenses break and shatter. This offense has the chance to become one of the most balanced and unpredictable attacks in football in this season, I feel. I mean, players that should thrive in this system is going to be Justin Herbert, for sure. The system could unlock his most efficient season in Herbert's career. Why do I feel that way? Hey, what's up? Are you real, sir? Yeah, I'm real. But no, welcome to the stream. Because the defenses won't be able to sit back and simply play coverage or man-to-man shells every snap anymore. It's Herbert's quick. It's going to be quick releases, strength, and his intelligence. His I ain't gonna lie. Justin Herbert's football IQ is off the charts. As Mike McDaniel said in his press conference, he expected Justin Herbert to take maybe 3 or 4 weeks to pick up the offense. He said Herbert picked it up in 3 or 4 days. So to me, he's got a football IQ. He's got a mind of a football player. So, hey, he picked it up very quick. And, hey, that's a bonus. Huh? But for me, I feel Herbert is going to thrive in this offense with McDaniels and under. Now, as for Ladd McConkey, I feel Ladd's going to have a hell of a year. I'm talking about the Los Angeles Chargers. That's what I'm talking about there. Ladd McConkey might become one of the biggest winners in this offense, I feel. His route running, his separation, his ability, his quickness, and his football IQ is fit. It's going to fit perfectly in this Mike McDaniel motion-heavy attack offense, I feel. Hold on a second. Let's see. Ladd McConkey's route, as I said, his route. McConkey thrives in creating space underneath and in the intermediate zones in this offense. I feel he could become Herbert's security blanket while also turning into short catches into explosive gains and long yards after the catch. I mean, defenses are going to have to problem solve. Who do we get? Do we have Ladd? Do we have QJ, KLS? And also, you got to have now David Njoku, and you got Hampton to worry about. I mean, this could quietly become one of the most productive Ladd could become one of the most productive receivers in this offense or in the AFC, I feel. But and then you go to Quentin Johnson. This may finally be the offense to also unlock Q's potential. As I always say, he wasn't used correctly, I felt, but maybe now he will use correctly to his ability. And the yards after catch is where Q thrived at TCU, and I hope to see this in this offense this year. I know Mike McDaniel has been raving about his Quentin Johnson's growth, what he's seen in camp so far, and it's all been all praise. As for Q, instead of asking him to strictly, hey, traditional outside receiver every snap, hey, he's going to manufacture like crossover screens, motion looks, deep over routes, run after the catch opportunities. Hopefully is where as I said, is where QJ thrives. And he did at TCU, and I'm hoping to see all that. And then this is where you're going to see, I feel, I ain't going to lie, I am a Quentin Johnson truther because I've seen him here in college, here at TCU, and he drafted the Chargers. But I really feel this is where Q's going to be unlocked. I mean, we are paying him $18 million guaranteed this year to say, are you that man? So we're going to find out that kind of. Now, also, I feel the run game this year is going to be explosive, especially with Amari and Hampton. I think Hampton is going to show, hey, I am that man. I am that running back. If you can, I mean, I know he had an injury-riddled season last year that shortened his season. I think he played about 9 games last year, and the injuries did hurt him last year. But the run game, especially, if you want to play championship football, you got to have a run game. And that's something I feel the Chargers this year are going to. Championship football is won in January, and you have the run game. You win in January when you have a running game because it's going to be a balanced attack. And for the Chargers, finally look capable of controlling games, not just on the ground, but also in the air, and being explosive through the air also. It's going to be good. I mean, the outside zones, the concepts, the motions, the spacing, the create lighter boxes, and the running backs. It's going to, as I said, we have a 3-headed monster. We have Hampton, we have Mitchell, and we have Vidal. So there's going to be running backs going through. I mean, what wins in January and later in the season? Cold weather, road playoff games, physical defenses. We have a good defense, and I feel it's not going to take that much of a step back there. But you have to run the football in January and February to win and to balance the game out, I feel also. So this might be quietly one of the most important reasons for optimism for the Chargers this year. The Chargers are finally building a line that can survive playoff football. We have finally, for once, a line that I feel is adequate to put out there. Last year, as I mentioned, last week, we fielded 16 different offensive line combinations, the most in the NFL. So we didn't have no continuity on that offensive line. Now that we do. Yeah, exactly. Justin is one of the most talented players I've seen. And I'm glad he's my quarterback, but he is a quarterback with a quarterback IQ. And then you put that with Mike McDaniel, that's where I feel is like a match made in heaven for the Chargers this coming season. I think it's going to be great. But as I'm going to get this one, I feel the offensive line now from last year to this year is night and day. We got rid of the clown Bozeman. We got rid of all the dead weight on that line. We have a new center. We have a Slater back. We have Alt back. You add, it's going to be a lovely thing. The Chargers, as I said, we're finally building a January to February football team and building in the trenches. Because Justin Herbert, did he have time last year to throw the ball? No, he did not. He was just running for his life and getting hit all the time. Now he has his bookend tackles back and new center. And we have an offensive line for a change. Last year we did not. Now we do. So to me, the Chargers are building for January and beyond. So why this team feels a lot different to me. The biggest difference for me with the Chargers is the compared to previous years is the identity. We never really had an identity. We were just a team that goes out there, throw it out, shoot it out. But now we have an identity on offense and defense. And that's what's going to win those close games and win when it counts in January and beyond. Hey, I just want to get to January, get to playoff football this year, because I feel we can be there and be that team, be in that team. I mean, what actually wins in January is physical football, explosive offenses, tough defenses, depth, versatility, and coaching creativity. We're going to have that coaching creativity with Mike McDaniel and let Harbaugh do his magic and let all three phases of the game come together. I feel when all three of those phases come together this year, it's going to be a magical thing for us, and I am lying. So I'm looking forward to that, though, this year. Now, as I mentioned, JD, you want to pull up that Njoku picture? All right. As I said, we did sign David Njoku. I know we had a wonderful rookie last year in the Rondé Gatson II. But we just brought in a veteran tight end who I feel is a great blocking tight and is going to – I'm going to see he's going to cut into a Rondé Gatson's production, but I feel we're going to run a lot of two tight end sets. But that's just me. I mean, let me get to this one. Njoku gives the Chargers a new identity in that tight end room. That's a big boy, pause, and that's a big tight end to take down. So on this past Monday, the Chargers signed in David Njoku to a 1-year contract. It was reported it was $8 million, but coming out late last night, the Chargers signed him for $3 million, but it's up to $8 million in incentives. So to me, the Chargers signed Njoku. What's up? Hey, Emil, what's up? Hey, happy Friday, buddy. Thanks for tuning in earlier, and thanks for tuning in now. Sell you Prescott. Emil, where are we talking? Are we talking over are we talking in the international? Where are we talking? You know how many leagues I'm in? I have Prescott in a few places, but we can talk. But you know what? We're talking quarterback and Superflex too, so we'll get to that. But Camille, we can talk. What up, King? Not much, man. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm glad you're happy with your Rams schedule last night. 7 primetime game. And I read a little earlier that that 7 can turn into 9 towards the end of the season for primetime games. So, hey, man, you all got that. It's crazy. And I saw one person on ESPN said, hey, why not an all-LA Super Bowl? Hey, I ain't trying to mess with the 49er, the Bang Bang Niner gang, but I happened to see that. I was like chuckling, but that's wishful thinking, man. I just want to get the playoffs this year. All these I know what I feel my Chargers are going to do this year, but I'm going to get to that next week. But on to the Njoku thing. And this is not just another major weapon added for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. The Chargers clearly are building around Justin Herbert and with explosive playmakers. I mean, our offense now I feel is you just added another playmaker to Justin Herbert. And this is what exciting me about this offense and the Mike McDaniel offense. I mean, playmakers. He's versatile. His speed. He has suffered injuries. So to me, that's the only knock on Njoku is his injury history. But if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be a wonderful thing for this Chargers offense. It's going to be speed, and the matchup problems we're going to create is even going to be better for it. I look at it. Njoku gives Herbert another trusted target and can dominate the middle of the field and extend the drives and create explosive plays after the catch. All these things are going to help the Chargers. I mean, I know we didn't make these huge splashy signings. As I said, it's like shopping at not Neiman Marcus, but at a thrift store. But we got these guys that fit the McDaniel scheme. We know how McDaniel likes to use the tight end. Njoku's going to be used quite well. And when was the last time Njoku had a quarterback like Justin Herbert? He really didn't have that in Cleveland. He was going through like a shuffling of quarterbacks. He probably more like, I don't know, Cleveland runs through quarterbacks like someone runs through a clothing or something. It's just like hotcakes. So to me, Cleveland's a mess, but hey, welcome to Los Angeles, Njoku. I mean, as I said, he's had injury histories. I mean, but his last big season, I felt, for Njoku was back in 23. It was his best season. He had 81 receptions for 882 yards and 6 touchdowns. Those are elite numbers for a tight end, and they will and they will prove he can absolutely be a major weapon when utilized correctly. I said Mike McDaniel is going to put all these weapons into proper usage so they're used correctly and used in the right situations, I feel. Now, imagine that type of player paired with Justin Herbert, it's arm talent, and Mike McDaniels. That's going to be very, very scary. Offensive, and he's an offensive, creative mind. I mean, Mike McDaniels is going to think of the craziest things for this offense. Come on, he's working with Justin Herbert and a great offense, and we're going to see how this all works out. I mean, but this is where it can get dangerous. McDaniels' offense is built around creating mismatches, using motions, attacking space. Sorry about that. I mean, Njoku's going to fit this system perfectly. I remember telling a friend of mine, I would have loved Njoku. It was on my wish list. I think I had Njoku, Waller, Darren Waller, and someone else as a tight end, possibly in free agency. But we did get Njoku, so that's it. I mean, Njoku fits the system perfectly, I feel, because if he's not just a traditional, my son's girlfriend is dating Njoku. What? My son's girlfriend's friend is dating Njoku. He's just one of as many, I believe. I was like, King, what am I reading here? You know? But no, I mean, he can line up all over the field, a slot receiver, an H-back, motion across the formation, red zone weapon for Herbert, a seam threat, short yardage target, and we know Njoku in the red zone I think that's going to be prolific for this Chargers offense. But it's going to open up a lot of the field for Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, KLS, Trey Harris. I swear to God, the Chargers now, when you just had a couple years ago, we had Ladd and Q to account for. Now you got to account for a lot more players than just Ladd and Quentin Johnson. You got to have a full hand of players to account for. And there's not just one or two. We have about 5 or 6 players that can contribute to this offense. So this is where that's why I said it's going to be dangerous this year. You know, so, and the biggest thing, it takes pressure off everyone else. I feel when the pressure is off Justin Herbert, that's when he thrives. And when when Herbert thrives, the team is going to thrive, because taking all this pressure off Justin Herbert from being hit constantly, it's going to be a blessing, because we know how many times Herbert was like not just leading the league, he was up there in top 3 along with Drake May and Herbert. They were up there. So as I said last year, we had to fix the O-line. That was fixed. So to me, this is where, as I said, when Harbaugh said he was going to build from the trenches out, and he's doing that, and having Alt and Slater back, and then signing Biotish, and then all the players that we have and we drafted, I think this is going to be a lovely, perfect line for Herbert and to protect Herbert. But going forward, it's about, as I'm always stressing for this whole offseason, protect Justin Herbert, protect Justin Herbert. So to me, we're doing that, and that's all we got to do. But to me, the biggest thing that this move does for Justin Herbert is it's another weapon, as I said, than David Njoku. And for the offense, it's also another player added. But for the AFC, this is not just the reason the Chargers are being viewed as a legitimate contender heading into 2026. It shows that we're here to cause some havoc. Oh, this dog is going to be the be-all end of it. Excuse me. So, on that one, but to me, so JD, you want to pull up that trio picture? All righty. I mentioned Njoku, I mentioned Gadsden, but let me get to Charlie Kolar also. I didn't mention his name because he's not really a name that always stands out, but this tight end trio for the Chargers now, this is going to be nice. With the addition, as I said, with the addition of Njoku, the Los Angeles Chargers may have officially transformed their offense into one of the most dangerous matchup nightmares in the NFL, I feel, in the tight end room. This isn't just another roster move, just another player. This feels like a statement for the Chargers. from Jim Harbaugh, Joe Ortiz, and Mike McDaniel that they are building an offense designed fully to unlock Justin Herbert and to an elite level. I mentioned that last week. Everyone says he's an average quarterback. I feel this offense can take Justin Herbert to that elite level or possibly put him in that elite status. But you have to prove that to be in that status, I feel. And that's where that's just not just a headline grabber, David Njoku, but it's a statement saying, hey, we're here. We're not here to play. We're here to play. We're here to be big boys' paws. So, I mean, you got Njoku, Kolar, Gadsden. It's going to be a fun tight end. I feel that the 12 and the 13 package is going to be run quite a bit in this offense. But, I mean, defenses already have to worry about Herbert's arm strength. Now they have to account for a dynamic tight end room, not just Gadsden, Njoku, but Charlie Carl. This is going to be a fun offense. The tight end room, I mean, last year our tight end room was like, Will Disley, Gadsden, and someone else. It really wasn't an exciting tight end room that it is now with Njoku over here. So it's going to be good, I feel. But defenses are going to have to worry, are going to stress now. There's multiple playmakers on this offense. So I feel, especially in the red zone, I feel we're going to use Njoku in the red zone. And our red zone offense last year, I remember mentioning a bunch of shows, was straight trash. If we fix that this year, the red zone and score in the red zone, I feel we're going to be a very competitive team. We're going to score a lot of points in this offense. So it's going to be a wonderful thing, I feel. I mean, imagine the scenario where the Chargers come out in the heavy personnel packages, multiple tight end sets on the field. Defenses respond, and they're going to expecting a run-heavy look. So is it going to be a tight end set? Is it going to be something to do with going Hampton? We're going to keep defenses on their toes this year. So that's why I feel the Chargers offense can be a very good thing. And then again, you got Charlie Kolar, one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. Become one of the most important players on this offense. I mean, the Chargers' toughness, flexibility, can block in the run game, help in the pass protection, and still be dependable underneath targets when the defense focus heavily on Njoku or on Gadsden. I mean, every successful offense needs a willing to play, to have that dirty work. And Kolar is probably going to be playing that dirty work for us. Presence helps the entire system be balanced. But what makes this trio dangerous to me is the Chargers won't have a substitute personnel to completely just change what they're doing offensively. They can line up a heavy formation to run powerful football. They can spread the defenses out without changing personnel. They can attack vertically. That's a wonderful thing. And they can dominate underneath. They can play motion and into the mechanics, mismatches. And they can also disguise the run, pass, and looks to an elite level. So they got to account just not for one. They got to call for multiple players this year. So that's where I feel Mike McDaniel is going to scheme up schemes for this offense that's going to throw a lot of teams off. This is not an offense the Chargers normally run, but this, as I remember, this is a one-year rental offense under the Mike McDaniels because I feel he's here for 1 year. I hope he's here for longer, but I really personally have to believe he's not. And honestly, this might be the best situation Justin Herbert has found himself since entering the NFL back in when we drafted him. For years, Herbert has carried offenses for the Chargers with his pure arm talent, is consistent, but no protection. Now he has protection. So let's see what Justin Herbert can do with all these things we did in the offseason, free agency, and in the draft. So to me, there really is no excuses. Justin Herbert is like, hey, you have to prove it. You are that. You can do this. You got the offensive mind of Mike McDaniels. You have the offensive playmakers. Everything was given to you that us Chargers fans asked for this year. So now we'd have to put the work in and just show what we could do this. So, and if Mike McDaniel fully unlocks the way many believe he can unlock Justin Herbert, this offense could be very, very special. It could be legitimately become one of the most explosive offenses in the entire NFL heading into the 2026 season. Now, these are high expectations for the Chargers, but we're as Charger fans, we have high expectations every single year. But it's about delivering on these expectations. I hope this year we can take these expectations that are being given and prove that, hey, we can do this. So, JD, we'd like to pull up that Herbert built different picture. All right. So, this was a tweet out there. And remember, I talked about Justin Herbert being sacked. So, you look at it here. Geno Smith was sacked 55 times. Cam Ward, about 55. And then Justin Herbert, 54. And that's some crazy stats. But this is why I feel you want to know why Justin Herbert is different. Well, to me, because most quarterbacks completely always fall apart under pressure. We saw what Herbert did last year under pressure, week in, week out. I always say, man, is he going to be hurt? I mean, because that line was horrible last year. Not just Herbert, but this dude won 11 games while getting sacked 54 times last year. Yes, I said 54 times. And understand that's insane. That's an insane stat. It kind of reminds me back when I lived in Massachusetts when Drew Bledsoe played. He was sacked. It was numerous times. It was crazy. I remember my uncle, he's sacked again. He sacked. It just reminds me back then. There was no offensive line for the Patriots back then when they played, when I lived out there. So not just pressure, but that's surviving a weekly car crash to me. That's what Justin Herbert was facing every single. It was like a weekly car crash. How many times was he going to hit? Yeah, King, that's crazy, man. But about that, man, I have to ask you about that later. That's crazy, man. And despite all of that, Herbert still led the team to 11 wins last year after being hit all that time. In fact, it's the most wins ever by a quarterback taking 50-plus sacks in a single season. That alone tells you everything you need to know about who Justin Herbert really is. He's a tough SOB. I'm glad he's my quarterback because sacks kill drives, sacks kill momentum, but sacks destroy quarterbacks mentally and physically. Most quarterbacks start seeing things, seeing ghosts, but most quarterbacks just get happy feet. Justin Herbert, he was running for his life last year. Most QBs, guys are, force throws, throw interceptions, completely crumble. Herbert just kept on firing the ball. So that's one thing I like about Justin Herbert is his toughness. I ain't going to lie. To me, he's one of the toughest SOB quarterbacks in the league. And he showed that last year with no offensive line. So to me, that's toughness, that's leadership, and that's an elite quarterback play. But let's be honest here. People have, feel Justin Herbert's average. But hopefully, as we saw last year from Herbert without an offensive line, this year with an offensive line and with more weapons, I think it's going to be good. But call me crazy, but is it out of the realm that Herbert could throw for 5,000 yards this year? It's not out of the question. But if you ask me, someone asked me last night on a TikTok live I was doing with every single AFC West team, and they asked me, Lee, what do you think about Herbert? Oh, I think he's going to throw for about 4,800. I said 4,800 yards last night. That's what I said last night on TikTok Live in the AFC West joint. And I feel if that offensive line stays healthy, Herbert can hit that. I mean, that's what I feel is his ceiling there. And I feel with this offense, this is what I'm hoping for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Not just me, but I know many Chargers are feeling the same thing. Now, funny how that works because another quarterback pulled this off. The media would be calling it one of the greatest carry jobs in modern. But Herbert was under pressure all year long last year. We know commenters saying, "Oh, how many times Herbert? When are they going to get him an offensive line?" I remember it was a guy on Fox. Was it? No, it wasn't Romo. It was someone on Fox that said it. If they don't get him an offensive line, he's going to be killed. And I was waiting for that kind of stuff. But to me, Herbert was under siege all year last year. So, but because now, imagine this, He's got better protection, a stronger run game. Well, he didn't get to have Hampton that much last year. He had him for 9 games, but hopefully we get Hampton for a full year. Then I think a stronger run game, more physical football, I feel is going to take place. A coaching staff building around Justin Herbert, something he hasn't had in his entire career with the Chargers, is building around him. It's always been, what are the pieces you need? But now they're building towards to make Justin Herbert better and better. So I think that, and the coaching staff, as I said, they're building around. Now that offensive line stays healthy, Hampton's running for 15. Yeah, Peacock, I ain't going to lie. I know what you and I talked about it. Even y'all, you guys addressed your offensive line, and that was a point that y'all had to do, as did we. And we fixed that. But now it's, hey, let's see what happens. Hey, I would love if he goes for 1,500 Peacock, man. I'd be very, very happy. But I'm just hoping that happens. I really do. Lad, I'm curious, to be honest with you, Peacock, of the two, who is going to be the field stretcher? Is it going to be QJ or is it going to be Lad? I mean, I don't know how it all is going to shake out, but it's going to be interesting. No, I don't know. I personally, Peacock, 4,800, I'd say is a dream. Okay, I'm going to say that's a pipe dream for me. But I've seen him throw for 5,000 yards his rookie year. That's a long time ago too. But we shall see. I mean, keeping Herbert clean, jersey clean, and not hit as much this year. I mean, I feel this. He's going to have an excellent season with the Mike McDaniels. That's what I'm feeling. Knock on wood, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm hoping. But, hey, I have high expectations. I think we all have high expectations for our team. But 4,800 may have been a wild thing, but who knows? We shall see what's going to happen. But as I said, an offense designed to actually help the quarterback and help Justin Herbert for a change. That could be scary for the rest of the AFC because what that coaching staff wants to keep the ball out of Herbert's hand and pound the rock. We saw it last year, but I'm curious to see how we would see how A-Chain was used in Miami. So with Mike McDaniel, so everything that I've seen about Mike McDaniel, I think it's going to be a fun run game. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. He got to be fixed. Yeah, fix that offensive line, and we're going to run the hell out of the ball. I expect the Chargers to do this. Yeah, I mean, Peacock, you guys killed the offensive line in the draft and in free agency. You ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I was jealous. And there's a couple players that I wanted the Chargers to sign, but they didn't quite fit the scheme for the Mike. And what was it? The guy from Cleveland y'all signed? I think that's who I wanted, right? And then you all signed him, and I'm like, that's all good, man. But, man, I'm glad you got your offensive line. We fixed that. That's a help. How many rushing TDs you predict for Herbert this year? I'm going to make a bold statement. I'm going to say 4. And you can clip that. 4 rushing TDs. I could be wrong, but I feel with Hampton and the running backs we have, if it's 4, I'm going to say between 4 and 6 touchdowns. That's my number, 4 to 6. Other than that, I'm not going to say anything higher than that because I saw CJ break all types of records his rookie year, and he's in the Hall of Fame for it. He doesn't mean the Texans won. No. I mean, no. Recipe, exactly. It's run the ball, have a more balanced offense. You're right there, Pico. How many rushing yards do you predict for Hampton? I'm going to say 1,300 yards. That's what I'm going to say. I'll say 1,300 yards and maybe about 8 or 9 touchdowns. I haven't had a time, King, to look at the team, but now that the draft is over, the schedule is out, I can now start looking into okay, this is what I think is going to happen, because that's what part of the fantasy show that I have been starting to slowly put together, little by little, and that will be my predicaments, what I feel each player is going to do, but I'm working on that. But other than that, so as I said, to me, Herbert is different, and he will prove this year with this offense that he is also elite. I'm hoping, because I feel this is where he could take that next step up from not average, but to the next step up. So now on that note, JD, you want to pull out that offense and defense picture? All right, I put this picture together because I'm allotted 10 pictures and I kind of run out, so I put these two together. So I put the offense and the defense together. So this is what our offense is going to look like, and this is what our defense is going to look like. And so to me, I'm going to call this one an inside the new look Chargers full offense and defense breakdown. So the Los Angeles Chargers are entering the 2026 season looking like one of the deepest pause and the most complete rosters we've seen from my Chargers in a long time. I can't recall, because I've mentioned in many shows, our depth is never there. We finally have that for a change, and that's something I'm Ty Mayberry would say to me, Lee, where's the depth? We have no one. Yeah, I know. Injuries happen. We finally have a line that, hey, if someone does get injured, someone's going to be there. So that's, I mean, you really break it down. This team is not from top to bottom. You can see exactly what Jim Harbaugh and the front office and Ortiz are building. As I said, it's from the trenches out. Let's start with the offense, because this unit has the chance to be explosive, physical, and a well-balanced at the exactly same time this year. Obviously, everything starts. I'll take 1,308. No, that Peacock, that's what I feel without looking at the schedule and all that kind of stuff. That's just from my head on the fly. I'll say 1,308. So that's just my personal opinion, what I'm just going to say right now. But I'll probably stand by that because I feel that's just a safe floor. Awesome. But I think stay healthy and no excuses. Herbert has become an if man. Yeah, exactly. And you look at it, Peacock, every single year, Herbert's always been hurt. Last year was a different story. He was not hurt. So that to me was a blessing in disguise, especially with that offensive line. I was surprised he wasn't hurt. Yeah, he was hurt towards the end of the season with his thumb and all banged up there. But other than that, he did stay relatively healthy. If my offensive line was healthy, if only I had broken my hand, Hampton that stay. Yeah, all those what ifs, Peacock. You ain't lying. That's fantasy. It's luck. All those what ifs and if this, if that. It all depends, right? But as I say, I mean, obviously everything starts with the franchise quarterback, Justin Herbert, and this is where the offense is expecting Herbert to take a full big leap this year. Everyone is expecting that with Justin Herbert, with Mike McDaniels, and the conversation starts again. Is he elite? No, they have him as average, but no, I feel he's going to be better in this offense this year. Killing me this, all right? But expecting Herbert to take that leap. And now there's more protection for Herbert, more weapons, more versatile, and this offensive system is designed to maximize strengths for each one of these players. And then with Mike McDaniel helping shape this offense, expect more motion, more creativity. I think the creativity is going to be crazy this year for McDaniels. That man is a genius. And more opportunities for Herbert to attack defenses vertically and stretch that field. As Peacock mentioned, I mean, I'm curious to see who is going to be that field stretcher. Is it going to be Q or is it going to be Ladd? I think it's going to be both, but I really feel Ladd's going to have a big part of this offense this year. But at running back, you got Amari and Hampton steps as the projected starter, which is going to be, and he's going to have two solid backups just in case also. He could become one of the biggest offensive X factors on this football team, I feel. He brings power, burst of speed, and downhill physicality. And that's exactly what Harbaugh wants and offensively. But what takes the backfield dangerous is the depth behind him in Vidal and in Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell, then Vidal. Because I think that's what's going to go. Hampton, Mitchell, Vidal in the pecking order right there. But it gives us the toughness and the energy. I mean, Keaton Mitchell brings elite speed and his explosiveness. And then you can add in Jared Patterson as a fourth running back. But do I see him making the roster? Truthfully, when it comes to roster cuts, I think he might be one of the odd men out, to be honest with you. And then if stable, you got the depth when then you Alex Ingold at the fullback we got in. And so, yeah. And then he's best at one of the best lead blockers in football. And now suddenly this offense has a real identity. And I feel the identity of this offense is finally protecting Justin Herbert. Because this Chargers offense is built to punish defenses physically while still having the ability to hit explosive plays through the air. I ain't going to lie. if I had to say what was the best, I was asked on a show last night, and I said this straight up, and I'm not being a Charger hater. I said on this AFC West show I was on last night, I said the Houston Texans had the best defense in the league last year, and that's legit. And I ain't gonna lie, I feel they did. That defense is nasty, and we're gonna face them this year. So hey, bring it on. My dark Super Bowl pick, even though I don't want to admit it, banking on the health of McDaniels and Herbert's. Yo, man, Peacock, I ain't gonna lie, buddy. I'm hoping so, but man, I ain't gonna lie. As I said last night, I said the Texans have the best defense in the NFL. I feel that is. You have that nightmare fuel, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, and the rest of those cats on that defense is nasty. I ain't gonna lie. Week 9 on that schedule that you sent me last night, I'm like, okay, nightmare fuel. Yeah, I'm going to need a lot of nightmare fuel to drink. I don't drink sugar anymore, but damn, that game is going to have me on the edge. I ain't going to lie. You can clip that. I am going to be on the edge week 9 saying, holy shit. We got an offensive line. Protect Justin Herbert because that defense of the Houston Texans, shout out to Peacock, is nasty, and you can clip that. But, I mean, now let's talk about the receiving weapons. Ladd McConkey. Oh, I can't wait. Peacock, I think it's y'all fixed your offensive line. We fixed our offensive line. It's gonna, I feel, as you stressed it last year, Peacock, that was a sore spot for your Texans. And now that you've addressed that, and we addressed ours, we're going to see what happens. As I said, Justin Herbert without an offensive line last year, what he did, what can he do with an offensive line? And it's the same goes for C.J. Stroud. He's going to have more time to throw, more time to flourish and find his weapons. So, but I feel the receiving weapons. Ladd McConkey he's our projected wide receiver 1. Looks ready to become Herbert's most trusted target. His route running, separation, football IQ, and then the toughness through the middle make him a perfect fit in this offense. Then you add Quentin Johnson. Enters a massive season for his development. The talent has always been there, but he hasn't shown it. Now he wants that next contract. He's going to have to show that he is that person. You can develop, but you can only develop for so long. You have to show it. It's going to be called for Q this year. It's going to be called production. If I don't see the production, it's like I don't see them extend. I think he's probably gone. That's just my personal opinion. But I've seen things like that because remember he was drafted under the last regime. So, but consistency is the key. If Johnson finally takes that next leap, this offense becomes extremely dangerous. That gives you Ladd, that gives you Q, and then it gives you the other weapons. But then you got Trey Harris, who could quietly become one of the steals of this offense. He gives the Chargers another big-bodied receiver pause with the strong hands, paws, and vertical ability. And then Darius Davis has a gadget weapon. We shall see how he's played out. But we have depth at wide receiver this year. You got Keandre Lambert-Smith, and you got Jacquez Johnson, who's there, but I don't think he'll be too much this year. And suddenly the Chargers have a legitimate competition at depth throughout the receiving room. Now, as I said, I haven't seen anything on Keenan Allen at all. And I saw a small little blurb this morning that, hey, we'll be in touch with you. But I haven't seen anything about a signing at all. So I know I touched base on the tight end pause, but this offense, to me, does look very, very good. And then you got Gadsden projects to be the starter, along with David Njoku also. And the receiving ability could create matchup nightmares. Charlie Kolar added. All this is going to be a fun offense to watch this year. I know JD's excited about this offense. I'm excited about it. A lot of people are excited about this Chargers offense, what it potentially can do, what it looks like on paper. But yes, it might be on paper, but now we have to show what is on paper and put it out on the field also. I mean, to me, this may be one of the best Herbert offenses Herbert has had ever played behind. I mean, he's got to have an offensive line. He's got to have his boy Rashawn Slater back at left tackle. He's got to have Joe Alt back at right tackle. Then you got Tyler Biadasz at center, Cole Strange at guard, and you got our rookie Jake Slaughter who's going to play tackle. But he's going to play tackle, but he is probably our center of the future going forward. And then stepping in, then you got the Chargers finally look to build the trenches. They got depth for we got Trey Pipkins, Trevor Penning, Ben Cleveland, Coyote Azawa, who we got in the trade, and multiple developmental pieces on this, which has given us flexibility throughout the season. Yeah, Peacock. Those two tight ends are going to be great for the Chargers. But the horrible for Peacock. For the Chargers, it's great. For fantasy, it sucks. As you said in the thread, Peacock, when Njoku was signed, man, Gadsden's 2026 fantasy season just took a nasty hit. You ain't lying. The first thing I said was, Peacock, what he could have done this year, what I could shop him for, you're not going to get much for him. But right now, it's for 1 year with Njoku, and hopefully going forward, that's it, But it does suck for us in fantasy. But now this offense now has balance. This offense now also has toughness, and this offense also has explosiveness and playmakers. And most importantly, this offense finally looks to build for January football. I want to get back there. I don't want to go into the playoffs and say, oh, we're one and done. No, I want to get that W and go further. That's for me. Now, flipping over to the defensive side of the ball, the Chargers defense looks nasty too. Up front, you got Tahir Tart, Jameer Caldwell, and you got Dalvin Tomlinson, who we got in a trade, who we got over from, I think it was the Cardinals, I believe. And the size, the physicality of the defensive line, this group is built to stop the run and control the line of scrimmage. Last year, we couldn't control the line of scrimmage for jack squat. And I'm being honest. Our line last year was straight horrible. Yeah, Gadsden is still a dynasty. Yeah, exactly. It's unfortunate. And I have a lot of shares of Gadsden, too. I think I got maybe 4, maybe 5 shares of him in Dynasty. But then again, as you all know, Peacock, I love my Chargers players in Dynasty. But I'm trying to cut back on having all those bolts. So it's kind of hard, but you know what? You have to learn eventually if you want to win, right? Because it's not always going to be great having a full roster of Chargers players. It's not going to help you. 1 week it's not, or eventually. So, we got Justin Herbert, Matlock, and then you got Trey Edwards. And then the rookie Nick Barrett is continuing to add competition and energy to that front. Now, on the edge, you still have a future Hall of Famer in Khalil Mack, leading the charge, and alongside Tully, who continues to develop each in 1 year and out the other and getting better. The young ascending pass rushers in football. Then you add Mesidor, Bud Dupree, who I think is possibly is a cut candidate. I don't know unless we use him as a piece. Then you got our first round pick in Mesidor, Kyle Kennard, and you also have Garmin something. I can't pronounce it. I think it's Garmin Randolph. If I'm right, I think it's Randolph. And then some of this pass rush rotation looks deep, pause, violent, and relentless. And then you got that linebacker. You got Daylon Henley, looks ready to become the leader of this defense. His speed, his instincts, and range of motion continue to improve every single year. Denzel Perriman still brings the veteran toughness and leadership, while Junior Colson could become a breakout player for the Chargers. He's had a riddled injury history since he's been drafted. Now, this is a make-or-break year for him. Seriously, if he doesn't do anything this year, I could see us parting ways with Junior Colson. As much as Jim Harbaugh loves his Michigan players, I just feel this is the year that Junior Colson would have to do something otherwise to be a player in this system, period. And then you got Troy Dye, Marlo Wax, Deshaun Phillips, and Landon Barton. And this linebacker room has athleticism and depth. As I said, last year we never had depth on the lines at all. Last year it was always like next man up or rotation. It was kind of crazy. Now you got the secondary that is quietly one of the biggest surprises on this roster. And you got to understand, our DC is going to make the secondary a lot better, I feel, this year. I mean, you got Deontay Jackson, Tarheeb Steele, Cam Hart, both young players who are getting better every single year, and the starting corners. And then you got the length, the speed, the physicality across the board in Tar Heel Steel, especially that looks like a player with a major upspring moving forward. And then you still have the depth with Denard Leonard, Nikito Reed, and Isaac Waxter competing for rotational snaps, I feel. And, of course, you got the heart of the defense, Derwin James. When Derwin James is healthy and playing aggressively, it changes everything for that defense. I mean, pairing him with Elijah Molden gives him the Chargers versatility and intelligence on the back end. Pause. The veterans like Tony Jefferson bringing experience and leadership to the safety room. Now, I did see a blurb today that Tony Jefferson is a name that could potentially be cut. Now, I know he's been very productive the past few years with interceptions, but the way our roster is shaping out, someone in that room is going to get cut. It's going to be interesting when this time comes around, but I don't want to lose that veteran leadership in Tony Jefferson, but we shall see what happens. But overall, this, for the Chargers, for me, this defense finally feels complete to me, and I'm going to be honest with that one. They got an elite quarterback play, upgraded the trenches, they added depth, they added competition, they added toughness. And for the first time in a long time, I'm going to say as a Chargers fan, the team quietly looks to build to compete deep into the postseason. And I'm not saying just get to the postseason, but start winning in the postseason. It's not I know a lot of teams have flashy roster names. I mean, we do have names, but it's not stacked like that. But we've built this roster to an identity of players that fit the scheme this year, especially. But this is a roster with also physicality, something we never had last year. And this roster feels it's built the way Jim Harbaugh likes to build his team and wants to build a championship team built around. So no. Now I know every team says this every single. Finally, this is our year. JD, you want to pull up that picture, please, for me? Finally, the picture. Okay. So the one just had. Okay. Now, the way I have the standings on the bottom is how I see the AFC West standings this year. I have the Chargers, then Kansas City, then Denver, then the Raiders. That's what I have. That's what I did. That's why I put it in this picture. So I'm going to call this one the 2026 record and the AFC West outlook. I know I said earlier I would give a record. I could probably give that. I'll set it out. I feel the floor for the Chargers this year. Sorry, the ceiling is 12-5, but the floor is 11-6. That's what I think. It's probably going to be 12-5 if we stay healthy. 11-6 is the floor for me. So that's what I think. So, all right, Bull fam, let's talk about it. After taking some time to sit back, look at the roster, study this division, I think about where this team is heading into year two under this year three into the Harbaugh. Sorry, year three under this Harbaugh regime. Last season was the floor. This football team is not the ceiling. Also, I feel we haven't hit our ceiling. We're just getting there, and that should honestly excite us Chargers fans. When you compare the roster to where it was 1 year ago, it's a totally different thing. We have depth. It's simply better, especially offensively. The Chargers added more depth, more physicality, and more speed. Something we never had. Well, speed because it's the Mike McDaniel's offense, but because he loves speed. But talent, we added talented players around Justin Herbert also, and to protect Justin Herbert. You got Justin Herbert entering another season healthier, more comfortable in this offense, and more confident in this system. And I really do think this is going to be a wonderful system for Herbert this year and for this offense. I mean, I just hope it doesn't go the other way. I'm hoping it goes up, not down. That have to be all things. But this offensive line has more continuity. The run game should be more improved, I feel, because it's got a better weapons around Herbert. It's deeper. It's more explosive. And maybe one of the most important, team finally feels it's built to survive an NFL season because we have depth for a change, something we never did have. And that really matters in the NFL because one thing we know about the AFC is that there's no easy there's no easy Sunday in the AFC West. Come on, you got the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Raiders. Now, I ain't gonna say the Raiders are an easy game. They're a rebuild team, but they did in this offseason go out and get a lot of players and spent quite a bit of money. So we shall see what all these players and what they did in the draft and what Mendoza works out. Because one thing we know about the AFC, there is never an easy Sunday. We know the Chargers always play close games with the Chiefs. Denver has gotten better. So it's going to be an interesting year this year in the AFC. I know Bakes is looking forward to what his Raiders do. And I know Chase looking for his Denver Broncos. But, hey, it's going to be fun. I mean, I feel the AFC has this year, I mean, it's probably the second toughest. I mean, I know they say the AFC North is tough, but I feel a lot of teams in each division's got better. But, hey, I'm not worried about that. But I feel the AFC West has to be one of the best 3 divisions in football. So now, when you look around the division right now, it honestly believes the AFC West is more open than people think. Yes, Denver won it last year. Kansas City is without, and I don't feel Kansas City is going to be without Mahomes. It's a possibility, but I really do think he'll be back for week 1. That's just my take. I really think Mahomes will be back, and he's going to be the same Mahomes? No. We're not going to see this Mahomes we saw last year scrambling off but hey, what's up, Crooked Commish? Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to the Chicago Clubhouse, Crooked Commish. Make sure to head on over there. Check out Chicago Clubhouse. They got some great stuff on over there, just as they do is over on neonpeacockmerch.com on that YouTube channel, and also to the Chicago Clubhouse. They got some great stuff on over there. Shout out to the Crooked Commish and the Mouth of the Bay, man. There's some fun shits. And speaking of the Mouth, I sent an invitation, JD, to the Mouth. And that is, I would love, we play the 49ers this year, is for Bogey and the Mouth on the Power Hour. That, I'm going to have the fella backstage, the great producer. But hey, I'm willing to take it on the Mouth and the Boat and Bogart Scott-free. That week 15.
Pause.
No. Oh, no. Okay, let me get this on here. Okay, so I know.
Hey, but we'll be here though, big bro. My bad. Hey, the Niner gang gonna be there. We gonna show up for you, big bro. 100%.
Trust me. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be bang bang Niner gang.
You fucking got it right. Good job.
Yes, sir. You know that. Hey, I got the little note here. Bang bang Niner gang. I always screwed up.
Trust big bro.
When you had a producer like you can't mess that up.
There you go.
But let me get to the point here. It's been 16 goddamn years for us Charger fans. Frustration? Almost. 16 years of injuries, collapses, missed opportunities, and watching other teams celebrate. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing the Kansas City Chiefs or now the Denver Broncos win the AFC West. To me, as JD said, as JD told me many times this year, he feels the Los Angeles Chargers are going to take the AFC West this year. Do I back him up? Oh, hell yeah. I'm a Chargers fan. I feel this is our year. I feel we're built for this. We're built to take back the West. 2009 is too long for me. It's 2026. It's our year. It's Charger football. I want this. The roster feels different. This team is tougher. It's more complete, more balanced, more prepared for January football. We weren't ready for January football last year. We rested our players when we could have gone 6-0 in the division. That wasn't done ever for the Chargers. I don't like that shit. I'm being honest. Excuse my language. I was mad as a mofo last year when that happened because I wanted to run the table in the West. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but 5-1 was a beautiful thing. But seeing what Denver just go there and then we got mollywopped, but anyways, but it wasn't the point. This team looks a lot different to me. I want that West title back. I'm sick of seeing red or orange on that crap. It's been 2002 since the Raiders even won it. So, hey. So, it's been a long time. But on that note, but to me, we're in a legitimate AFC contender. I feel we say Broncos about to fall. Hey, Peacock, you ain't lying there. And last night when I was in that AFC West TikTok show last night. A lot of even the guy from Denver said, "Hey, man, I'm happy for we have Bo Nix," but he said he bluntly said, "Man, our defense carried us last year, and our defense is like if our defense is not there, he's not fully sold on the offense." So like, okay, that's fine, babe. But I was kind of shocked. Nix won't be as much. No, have you seen Bo Nix's ankle? That ankle does not even look right. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not hating on Bo Nix. I just never been a Bo Nix fan, period. And I know my cousin's watching this right now, but it is what it is. Sorry, Leslie. I know you're a Broncos fan, but Bo Nix is Bo Hicks. Such a bad voodoo on him, but I'm not. No, but I feel the Chargers are a legitimate AFC contender this year. But the key word for us is health this year. So we shall see what happens, you know. I think we're going to be a powerhouse if we stay healthy. But it feels like any other year. I always going to say, this is our year. But I feel this year is different. We have Mike McDaniel. We have a lot of pieces that we haven't had in other years. So I feel let's take it full advantage of this. Even if it's 1 year with Mike McDaniel, let's make the most of it and just win. And yeah, I want to see a competitive year. I feel our schedule, I'm going to say it right now. When I saw that schedule last night, I was like, wow. There's some stretches in that schedule that are scary. We got 4 games against some playoff teams. If it's the Ravens, Texans, it's a nasty schedule. But you know what? Every team is dealt a schedule, and they have to deal with it. It's next man up. It's next team up. So I'm gonna embrace this schedule on the next show and all that kind of stuff and break that all down. But JD, you want to pull up that segment 7 picture? Joe Alt pitcher with Rashawn Slater. All right. I know I've stressed that, hey, we got these boys back. But to me, the Los Angeles Chargers with Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, it's going to be a problem for and I'd say 4 teams. I'm not going to say the whole NFL because there's some teams that have bookend tackles like we have. So I got to look at a shout out to Peacock. They got great tackles over there themselves. The Texans have a great team. And I'm good. That's one of my opponents, but I'm going to give a shout out. Peacock's got a great. That's a team that I look at and say, man, I wish my team is like. I know we have a good defense, but that is an elite defense too. There's teams in the NFL, but man, that Houston Texan team is a defense. And as Peacock, it's nightmare fuel. That's. So let me get to this one. So the Chargers might currently have one of the best offensive line situations in the entire heading into this coming season. And it all starts with the return of Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt. Both, Slater was out for the whole year last year, and Joe Alt was in and out of the lineup. But when he was in that lineup, man, that was a difference maker. When he was not in the lineup, yeah, you might get get that Rams struggling. Yo, you know, I said, King, speaking of that, I was speaking to Ty Mabry last night, and you know what they put the 49ers on our schedule in week 15? This is the thing that Ty Mabry said, Lee, isn't it the time when the 49ers really suffer injuries? Said, yeah, don't even jinx us. But I said, yeah, you're kind of right. The 49ers do get hurt.
Hey, man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Talk to Mabry. Don't talk to me.
Bro, you brought it up on your fucking podcast, and you agreed with it. You thought I was gonna let that shit. Hold on, let me. Hold the fuck on.
But no,
hey, this is my first appearance on this show.
Yes.
Oh my mama, y'all see what time it is with these jerseys right here, and this motherfucker, him and shout out to Ty too, bro. They over there having sidebar conversations, talking about this is when they get hurt.
No, substation.
I see you tomorrow for the UFL, bro. I see you tomorrow for the UFL, Ty. I see you in Vegas, big bro. Everything.
He ain't lying. You might. Hey, King, I ain't gonna lie, man. Your Rams, that is going to be a hell of a game, man. But seriously, I feel the Rams. But I don't know, man. It's a long season. Injuries happen. But you know what? My Chargers are always injury riddled too. So you know what? That's what I'm saying. This year is health. That's all I want is a healthy team. I feel we stay healthy. This is something we can do. But as I said, it all revolves around health. But hey, At week 15, I don't want no excuses, JD. I don't want to use excuses for my team or anything. I want to have a hell of a game because I know not just that it's going to be a fun week of smack talk on the channel, but so much I'm going to look forward to having Mouth and Bogey and y'all. Hey, man, that's one week. I always say I need to grow thick skin. That's a lot of thick skin, pause, I got to grow because I'm going to take a beating from y'all. But you know what? I'm looking forward to it. You know what? There's one game I've been looking forward to on that schedule. It's the 49ers and it's the Texans. I ain't going to lie. Those are the two teams I'm looking forward to playing the most. One, it's because how bad we lost to Peacock's team in the playoffs. I don't like that. It sits with me. And when that loss happened, it's the same with the Patriots. I wanted the Patriots week 1, but we didn't get that. But you know what? I welcome that when Mark comes on the show. It's going to be fun. But I feel oh my God, I lost my train of thought here. This is crazy. This is not like me, but I lose it a lot. Let's see on the Joe Alt stuff. Here we go. I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about here. Okay. So, yeah, thanks, JD. I appreciate it. I just got started. Now, the insane part here tells you everything you need to know about the talent, the level of this team. Technically advanced almost every week when he's healthy. He's already plays like a franchise cornerstone, and that's Joe Alt. We know what he's like when he's healthy. Justin Herbert jersey does not get dirty. And that's one thing. We saw when Joe Alt was out of the lineup, it was bad. When he's in that lineup, it's a different thing. And to me, the health of the Justin Herbert is going to revolve on the health of Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, I feel. So technically, on the side, you have on the right side, you have Slater. When healthy, he has already proven to be one of the most premier left tackles in football. Slater is the stabilizer of this offensive line. But what does scare me is that injury he did suffer. So that I know we did get players in the draft that just in case, because I am a little worried about Rashawn Slater's injury. That going into this season, I'm not gonna say a fear, but it's in the back of my head. He did suffer a bad injury, so it's gonna. He is when healthy, he's probably one of the best premier left tackles in the game in football, and the Chargers can do what they can do offensively when these players are healthy. He allows the offense to stay aggressive because Justin Herbert trusts his blind side and the protection. All right. Cole, yeah. Who was that crazy guy that popped up, Lee? Yo, King, you don't know who that was? Oh, man, that was crazy. Me that popped up, but JD popped up just out of there. That was the fella. And you know why I say one thing, King? There's only one fella. There's only one JD, and that man, that's why we call him the fella. But as I said, having both tackles healthy together is going to be a great thing. That changes everything for this offensive line. It changes, and not just for this offense, but it changes everything for this offense going forward. Last season, injuries absolutely destroyed the Chargers left and right. As I just said about the amount of combinations we had last year, it was 16, and that's a ridiculous amount. Herbert spent way too much time sitting on his ass and being parked on that ground by defensive players from other teams. This offense never really got to settle down into a rhythm because protection was everything. Issues continually forced adjustments. We were running in not just lines that other teams have solid lines. We were running in players that were playing out of position. But now you're talking about potentially an elite edge protection on both sides of the football. That allows Mike McDaniel to fully unlock this offense. And as I said, the key word is staying healthy. You can run deeper, develop pause, and run concepts, stretch the field vertically. You can move the pocket. You can establish the outside run zones. And you can use more play action. And I'm looking forward to seeing that this year. But most importantly is Justin Herbert can finally operate completely. That's a scary thing for the rest of the league. And that keyword revolves around health. And I swear to God, I don't want to lose any one of these, Joe Alt or Slater, because I know what it's going to do to this offensive line. It showed last year. Without those players, it's probably one of the worst offensive lines in football. And it shows. When you don't have those key players, your offensive line is straight trash. And you can't protect the quarterback. So to me, it's keeping these guys healthy. So I'm going to put on that one. But it's going to be fun. Now, as I said, this JD, you want to put protecting the what? There we go. As I said, it's just another. We built this wall of Herbert for Herbert. In the Mike McDaniel. Last season, Justin Herbert was under siege, 54 sacks last year. I mentioned earlier. Not just that's not just a bad number. That's pretty bad. That just shows how bad the offensive line was. And that's a season-long beating pause for Justin Herbert he took last year. Franchise player. And despite Herbert continually to battle through the pressure and the injuries and collapsing pockets, the Chargers front office clearly understood something had to change immediately. And they took care of that. And give this organization credit. They attacked the problem aggressively. We had 5 picks in the draft, and we ended up with 8. We took half of that draft for offensive linemen. So I was happy with that. I ain't gonna lie. I'll stretch so many times. Protection, protection, protection. And it's just like Peacock wanted for his offensive line, to protect C.J. Stroud. You have to protect your investment. And the Texans are going to probably make an investment on C.J. Stroud, possibly. So we shall see on that one also. But I'm saying it's about protecting your investment or your whatever's coming forward. But as this organization, give this organization credit. They finally did something for a change. And I'm going to say that because the Chargers always seem to do something, but they always seem to do something when you're not doing the things we should be doing. But finally, we did something to protect our investment. Now, Brian Diablo of CBS pointed out directly, we completely rebuilt the offensive line as the main reason of optimism surrounding the football team heading into 2026. Honestly, it's hard not to disagree with this assessment. The Chargers went into the free agency with a mission, I felt. A mission to protect Justin Herbert, get tougher, get stronger, and more physical in the trenches. And we did that. First, they brought in the veteran Tyler Biadasz we got a center from Washington. Experienced leader, instantly stabilized the middle of the offensive line. A huge thing for Herbert. A veteran center does not just more than snap the football, but sets protections, identifies the blitzes, communicates the adjustments, does a lot of things. He's the center on that thing. Then we added Cole Strange to the right guard, bringing another physical presence to the interior. Screams. We identified the football in the building the trenches, but Herbert from constantly having defenders on his face for 2 seconds after snapping the ball. You can't have that. And you're not going to win football games when you have players right in front of your face. But they didn't stop there. In the draft, the Chargers took Jake Slaughter at number 63 overall, a player that many believe that could become a long-term anchor for the Los Angeles Chargers on this offensive line. The name alone sounds like an offensive lineman built for the AFC West football. Tough, violent, physical, exactly what this Chargers team needed. And then add the development pieces to Travis Burke, who I mentioned last week, and Logan Taylor, who was another player we added. And now you're seeing a front office that finally understands championships are built from the inside out. And this is one of the most serious investments the Chargers have made in protecting Justin Herbert since drafting him in 2020, I believe, or 2021. And this is the scary part for the NFL. Herbert finally gets consistent protection. Let's hope he gets that protection. But offense could explode. And we already know, as I said earlier, Herbert's arm strength. But I feel the team has gotten better. And JD, for segment 9, the Chargers finally have weapons. All right, with the weapons picture. All right, as I mentioned, all the weapons we have now in the Chargers. As I said, we have Lab McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Trey Harris. Pull up the picture for me, JD. Quentin. Brennan Thompson. There you go. The speedster. Hampton, Vidal, Mitchell, Gadsden, and Njoku. So, I haven't seen a Chargers team with offensive weapons, this many offensive weapons in a long time. If I had to say anything, it's probably going to be when Phillip Rivers played. So that's about a long time ago on that one there. So we shall see. But we do have the weapons for a change. So, as I said, so one of the biggest surprises from last season is the Chargers wasn't a blockbuster signing or a first-round draft pick. Or Gatson was a shining star last year. And honestly, even the Chargers made the move to bring in David Njoku on Monday. I still think Gatson is going to have a major role in this offense moving forward. I really do. But coming into the year, not many people expected a fifth-round rookie to become an important contributor this quickly. But there's time the Chargers needed to play. Gatson kept showing up. He's become a reliable target for Justin Herbert, stretched the field vertically, and brought versatility to this offense. And the team badly needed it last year. And in 15 games, 7 starts for Gatson, quietly put together a really impressive rookie season. He had 69 targets, 49 receptions, 664 receiving yards, 13.6 yards per reception, and 3 receiving touchdowns. So to me, we have all these weapons. Yeah, he should be a huge-ass dude, and he didn't bring in any other wide receivers. Gatson could, yeah, I really do think Peacock, we're going to use 12 and 13 packages, but 2 tight end sets. But it's going to be interesting. But I'm not ready to give away Gatson in fantasy just yet. I mean, I feel with Njoku here for a year, then it's more growth for Gatson, and then, hey, take over. But this offense can be a powerful offense this year, and I think it could be dangerous for the rest of the AFC and in football. But hey, I'm not tooting my horn. I'm a Chargers fan. I'm always going to say, hey, I feel my team is the best. But that's just me because I support my team. Not so I love my team. But on that, I mean, I think Gatson could take a leap. But I mentioned earlier when the show started about Mike McDaniel. JD, would you pull up those pictures, the picture of Mike McDaniel for me here? That one. Okay, so Mike McDaniel had a press conference, I believe it was Monday. And he had a lot to say. The McDaniel picture, JD? And I could do that. And then I'll pitch right there. All right, so what he said here was Mike McDaniel, lofty expectations for Justin Herbert. We're looking to master and elite everything we do. For him to be in position in the way we never has, or it's been obvious to everyone around the playing that he's the best football of his career. And then Mike McDaniel said he wants to help quarterback Justin Herbert own the position. He also said he outlined his plan last Friday to reshape the way Justin Herbert plays quarterback to unlock him and the best football of his career. He said quite a few things, Mike McDaniel, in that press conference. And I feel this is going to be a special offense this year the Chargers have 3 picks to sign. They have to sign Akeem Messidor. They did sign second-round pick Jake Slaughter, and they haven't signed Brendan Thompson just yet. But Mike McDaniel has expectations for Justin Herbert. He has a lot, and I think as I said earlier, he said he thought it would take 3 or 4 weeks for Herbert to learn the offense. It took him 3 or 4 days. Now, hey, that's great. But Mike McDaniel on the Chargers wide receiver room, he thinks it's a reasonable expectation to expect whatever their career highs are all across the board in that room. I think there's a lot of untapped potential. He did say something about Quentin Johnson that was kind of wild, and it's not going to sit well with most people because of who Quentin Johnson is. But this is what Mike McDaniel said. He praised Quentin Johnson for his physical tools and says the receiver shares traits with some of the most dominant pass catchers he has coached. And one of them was Andre Thompson. It was 2 wide receivers that won a Hall of Famer and something else. But to me, Quentin Johnson is a long ways to go. Yes, you've shown Mike McDaniel something, but you got to prove it every single week. But now, as I said, the Chargers did sign Jake Slaughter. And David Njoku, who wore 85 in Cleveland, is going to wear number 83. King, the sale begins, I believe, the 13th. I think the sale is on now. Peacock, can you correct me? The sale is going on right now, or does it start on the 18th? I just want to make sure. I just want to say the wrong information. I think that the sale is going on. Yeah, exactly, Peacock. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I ain't gonna say that. Now, also I mentioned on the last show that the Minnesota Vikings had requested. Okay, so King, here's it. He says the sale starts the 18th all the way up until Memorial Day on the 26th. It is $13.99 tees and 40% off everything site-wide. Now, I mentioned last week about the Chargers assistant general manager, Chad Alexander, being a lead candidate for the GM role over with the Minnesota Vikings and the Ginger Ninja. Well, he pulled his name out of the race today, and that was per Albert Beard saying that he wants to focus on what he's building over here, helping the Los Angeles Chargers. So I want to give a shout out to my friend Jay over on TikTok. One of my buddies who has been helping out over there with the schedule release yesterday there. But if you're rocking with me on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, I appreciate all the support from each and every one of you every single week. And let me make sure you'll go check out my guy Jay over at Charged Up Podcast, which is @ Charged Up Podcast on TikTok. Jay, he's putting out some great Los Angeles Chargers content daily, just like myself, who definitely tap in over there, show some love to his page. Man, he puts out some great videos. I mean, hopefully I'm going to have him on the show one day. He's a cool dude. He puts out some great content for the Chargers. He's always like putting out 3 or 4 videos a day. So, but as I said, next week, I'm going to take this week and break down the full 2026-2027 Los Angeles Chargers schedule. I'll go over it game by game, circle the biggest matchups, talk about the toughest matchups, the must-win games, and what could matter most. This is, as I said, I got Kidda, I got JD, Bogey, Mouth, got Peacock. There's a lot of people, and there's Bakes on this schedule this year. There's a lot of people I'm going to have on the shows this year. But you know what? I run my mouth quite a bit. But you know what? This year, hopefully, I can back up a lot of things. But you know what? I open my mouth too many times. But those expectations this year, I got to make sure that I don't expect too much, because it's always going to come back to haunt me. I always say that. Looks even dead. But on that note, I'm going to break down that schedule, bring it up next week. But as I said, head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. The sale that's coming up for the 18th to the 26th, $13.99 tees, 40% off site-wide. And if you need anything, like Peacock does amazing work, amazing artist, but does some amazing artwork in general, what he does. So if you need anything custom made for yourself, just reach out to me and I can put you in contact with Peacock, because, man, I have some amazing things that he's designed. If it's artwork on the wall from the draft to the Simpson character he made for me for the Ear to the Streets. I mean, I have some wonderful things made by Peacock. But other than that, on that note, I will see you all next Friday or next week when I have episode 6. Thank you for joining me for the Chargers Power episode 5, season 2, episode 5. Thanks to the fella backstage. Appreciate you every single week. And always holding it down. You are the best producer. I appreciate you and taking your time. And also for all taking your time out of your day. Have a blessed rest of your day. A wonderful weekend. And I hope everyone has had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend last week. I forgot to mention that on the show, and I apologize for that. So on that note, have a wonderful day. Bolt up, everyone. Let's go, Chargers. Let's go. Thanks, JD.
quarterback shit when I'm under the center. Game plan sick, talking under the weather. You know what we doing? I need that all expense paid inclusive. I'm the plug, so I'm plugged into it. About money like with Jewish white Christmas. I'm Scrooge, bitch. My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Kerry. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything movie, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Baskin Robbins shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Everything on me. Yeah, tell him Bogart scot-free. Lottie-dottie. Fuck with blow shoot, trolling 5 Molly. Heard I carry weight, move packs like a dolly. And I stay fuming, clock me doing Godspeed. Business booming, back-to-back trips, moving multiple units. Got mules, got universal soldiers, getting money for sure. Yeah, we ain't shrugging shoulders. You think I'm lucky getting over, made it far cause I'm sharp, fuck a 4-leaf clover. On my 89, minus the flat top. Getting packs off, smoking on the cash crop. Money talk, if you're broke then you can't talk. Play a never ending ball game, Sandlot.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Getting money when I land there. Smoking all loud so I can't hear. And if your boys bring the noise, all y'all pussies getting scraped pap smear. Codeine got me leaning, pizza. Put your boy on point, pyramid of Giza. I'ma rock like this till I'm an old geezer. No pizza parlor, but we deliver pizzas. Ask Uncle Sam, I'm taxing. Look, ma, no hands, telepathic. I can make things move, I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.